To the products, and we will certainly also have time to take a look at the Neets product designer, the configurator that you will be using to configure the Neets control systems. So let's go ahead and look at, first of all, our why. So that is that we do believe in making life easy for presenters. So a presenter can be some guys like you, it can be teachers, any guys out there in a conference room or learning space who wants to promote a message and have easy access to navigate through all the devices that you have in your conference room. We want to make his life easier. And the products we are making or solutions is basically user-friendly interfaces for controlling any technology that you would have in your meeting room or a learning space. Looking at Neets from a company view, where we are a Danish 100% owned private company. We've been on the market for AV control for now almost 22 years.
We have been 22 years.
Yeah. And we have a global presence. Our go-to-market is to sell through value-added distributors, who are then selling to distributors, to resellers who are selling to the end customers. We are a proven brand in small to medium-sized conference rooms. That's our sweet spot. But you will also be able to find us in larger rooms like auditoriums at universities. So this about being a proven technology and brand, I think, is proved by that we today have more than 300,000 meeting and learning spaces that are equipped with Neets AV control. One of the bigger installations we have today is the schools of Paris. They are currently having 8,000 classrooms equipped with an AV controller by Neets, and that number is expanding up to 12,000 over the next 2 years. So that is one of our bigger installations. So this is why we're here today to tell you about great solutions. Next slide will be, I won't go through it, it's quite heavy on the tech side, but just to give you some tools that you can look into afterwards. It'll give you a link to our customer stories. It will give you a link to a blog where you can find useful information about it. And at the end of the session, I think we will be reminding you again that you should go into neets.io, get access. That will enable you to actually download the Neets configurator that Dennis will be going through later.
There's a link in the most top of the website.
Yeah.
To get access to this link.
Great. Dennis, I think it is time to let you do the talking.
Yeah, please. So the Neets product portfolio is a bunch of products, primarily control, but we also do audio, and we do a little bit of switching as well. So if we take a look here on, let me just select something here. Take a look at the first product here. That is the Neets Solvo. It's a completely automated control system, a USB hub, a Pro AV hub, that lets you connect one USB cable and be connected to a lot of other devices. And it will turn on your TV and connect it to your internet and so on. Then we have the Quebec series, which is also automated control systems, where you simply just connect an HDMI cable or VGA, and the automation will take care of the rest. We have some keypads as well. We have a 4-button keypad. We have an 8-button keypad. And there are two models here. It's called the Echo and Echo Plus. Echo Plus has a network connection as well. Then we have the Sierra 2, which is also an 8-button controller, but it also hosts a web UI for the touch panels. And then the coolest keypad we have is actually the Uniform, which won an award at ISE in 2019. Instead of using engraved buttons as some of our competitors and as we self do on the smaller keypads, we use a printed label. On the Uniform, we use an e-ink display instead, making it very serviceable. Excuse me, guys, can I have you mute your microphones? We're having an echo here in our end. And please do interrupt when you have any questions. I can't see any raised hands, so please just interrupt by enabling your microphone. For the user interfaces for the touch panels or iPads, iPhones, we have Sierra 2, Lima, Tango, and Alpha 2 as controllers. And you can see the differences being that the Lima and Tango are and the Alpha 2 are rack sized, even though the Lima and Tango are only half the width of the Alpha 2, it fits in a rack as well, with an extra rack shelf. And then we have our 3 touch panels, which goes perfectly alongside with the touch panel controllers. And we've got a 4, a 7, and a 10-inch touch panel. We do some switching, as mentioned, for operating screens, curtains, lifts, and so on. We have a 2 relay box, a 4 relay box, and an 8 relay box. And the 8 relay is in a rack size. Then we have some cable copies for your cable management on your table. We got a square one, which will also host one of the keypad controllers. And then we have the round one up here, which is just 3 connections, 3 cables to be connected. Then we have our audio products over here. We have the amplifiers, which is an active amplifier and a controllable amplifier. One is a 2x25 watt and the other one is a preamplifier. And then last but not least, we have soundbars, which is a really great sounding and controllable soundbar. You can control this with RS-232, which is pretty unique for soundbars. And then the sausage here is the soundbar and a camera and the Solvo, all put into a bundle called Collabo 2.0. So let's have a further look at the products. So if we take a look at the keypads first, we've got a comparison here. And on the back side of all of our controllers, you will find green Euro connectors. The green Euro connectors will connect you to the IOs, to power, and to RS-232. We will share this slide with you afterwards, so you can go through this in your own pace. But the basic big differences here are, of course, the amount of RS-232s, where the Oscar only has 1 and the Sierra and the Uniform has 3 RS-232s, bidirectional and unidirectional. In terms of network control, you can see that the Oscar, Echo Plus, and Uniform can control 2 devices, and the Sierra 2 can control 10 devices. The /8 means it needs extension units, so you can actually extend our control system with other Neets products, such as other controllers, switching relays operated on network, and our amplifiers. Then we have the GPIO, we have PoE control, a PoE powering on the Uniform and the Sierra. If you have a UI, you can do that on the Sierra 2. And we have infrared learning. If you have a set-top box or some device that is not controllable with regular RS-232 or network, you can control that with infrared, and you can learn them directly into the Sierra 2 via the infrared learner on the front of the controller. To emphasize our newest product in the keypad suite is Needs Control Uniform here. And you can see it's a highly detailed display and not a piece of paper and not engraved buttons. The buttons are RGB, so you can have 8 different colors on the LEDs, if you count black, but usually 7 colors. And it's just perfect for your basic operation of a meeting room, your conference spaces, your classrooms. We see the uniforms going into universities, in bigger auditoriums actually, just to give that basic control of your room. Also being able to control camera presets, it's perfect for your video conferencing rooms as well. Touch panels and their controllers. As mentioned, we have a 4, 7 and a 10-inch display, and the 7 and the 10-inch will be possible to have on a table mount, whereas all of them come included with a wall bracket. And the cool thing here is actually the mounting is done magnetically, so mount the bracket on the wall and your display, your touch panel will snap onto that metal bracket on the wall. They are all PoE installed. There is no wireless or anything that can go wrong. So PoE and a network cable, and you're ready to go, having a good solid connection. The touch panels is actually just a front end for the controllers. The controllers will host the interface for the controller, for the touch panel, and you can design anything in here and upload it with our software, Neets Project Designer. As you can see in the front, you have Lima, then you have Tango, and you have Alpha 2. Lima and Tango are, I would say, the most sold controllers for UI that we have. And they are popular for a reason. They are price worthy, they are really powerful, and they are easy to mount. So you can mount them in a rack, but not many installs today. We see racks going up. So we've actually made protruding holes into the casing, as you can see here on the line of the comparison here. And we've included plugs and screws in the box, so you can mount them on a wall behind a TV, underneath a drop ceiling, or maybe under a table. So it's very easy to mount these devices. You can see that the Tango and Alpha, they have 3 and 2, so a total of 5 RS-232s, whereas the Lima only has 2 RS-232s. Common for them all is that they can control 10 devices on the network. And then the biggest difference is actually the IOs, the GPIOs, which will be used for your screens up and down, your curtains, blinds, movement sensors, and so on. In the Tango and the Lima, we have low power relays, so real contact closure relays, but they are low power, meaning 30 volts, half an amp, whereas on the Alpha 2 you will have 230 volt mains relays being able to be connected right there, so you can drive a motor directly on a curtain or screen. PoE is on both the Lima and the Tango, whereas the Tango has a PoE output, so you can route through the Tango into a touch panel, for example. And we have infrared learners on the Tango and the Alpha 2 as well. Project Designer is our software. I'll show that in the end of this session. But just to show you one of the templates that we have in our design, which is the Bolzano, which we launched last year. And the thing to know about our graphical user interface is that they are fully customizable. We have just created some templates that makes it so much easier for you guys to create a UI that looks great and can be branded and customized to your customers' use. But of course, everything is open source, so it's easy to tweak and do whatever you want inside of this. And you can do pages and sub pages, pop-out pages, and the coloring and logos as you want it to. Solvo by Neets is a new product from us, and very accelerated through all of this COVID-19 shenanigans we're going through right now, because everything is going online right now. The meeting, usually we would go to Morocco and do this training, but obviously we can't right now. And we just see a lot of video conferencing going up all over the place. So with Solvo by Neets, we've really struck a golden ore and being able to present in an easy manner. We're actually using Solvo right now to present, and I'm actually only connected to this video setup with just one USB cable. So this is designed for bring your own device, being capable of controlling, connecting to all of the products you see right there with Cisco WebEx, with Zoom, with Teams, whatever you have as a soft codec, we will connect to that. The way we do it is actually just by having a hub. It looks like a standard USB hub, and it almost is, but we've put a little bit of Neets magic inside of it. So it is a Pro AV hub for your video conferencing rooms. And the thing is, you connect one USB cable to your laptop, and then all of the other cables will be put into that one USB connection. So if you look at the diagram here, you can see that I've got a USB from the user. Through that, I'll have a microphone. I'll have auxiliary, maybe USB microphone or auxiliary microphone through the mini jacks. I can have a web camera or a PTZ camera on USB connected to the input on the Solvo right there. And then we've got a network connection, a RJ45 connection for your fixed internet connection. And then last but not least, we have an HDMI cable going up to the TV. And this is where the magic begins, because when the user connects their USB cable, we will turn on all of the peripheral devices. So the USBs and the HDMI connected TV will turn on via CEC. And when you are done with your online meeting, simply disconnect and the TV will turn off again when you leave the room. It's as simple as that. So there's no other user interface than the USB cable. It is a fantastic product, if I should say it, and it's a 4K compatible device, so it's perfect. You can see you can bundle with any brand. So if you are using one brand of PTZ cameras or web cameras, go with that. If you're using one brand of TVs, you choose. Everything is up to you. And another thing that you won't find on any of the USB hubs out there, apart from the CEC, obviously, is the mounting. Protruding holes, and actually on the backside of this product, you will find holes for cable ties, your zip ties, so that you can mount it behind your TV on the TV bracket, making it super simple to install. And yes, as mentioned, the CEC control is just what does the trick here, wouldn't you say?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
absolutely.
You need to do a little bit as well. Just sit and say,
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, with the Neets soundbar, which is one of our audio products, you'll get a very good looking and great sounding soundbar for your video conferencing. This box is in a hardwood enclosure, so it is perfect and it is tuned for your video conferencing setups. It has 4 drivers. It is controllable with serial commands. It has 4 amplifiers, so 1 for each driver, 4 by 20 watts, so a total of 80 watts out of a small soundbar. It's really, really good. We've built upon that soundbar, and we've added a camera of our own. It's a 4K camera. We've added the Solvo by Neets, and then you have a complete video conferencing setup for your bring your own device rooms. And you'll only have one cable one USB cable for the end user, and they will be ready to present and go online with that one cable. All you need to add is an HDMI cable, a TV, and the audio cable for the soundbar. So as you can see here, the bundle is the soundbar and the Solvo and the 4K camera. And then you'll need your laptop and a TV connected so that you get the total solution. With our amplifiers, which is fairly small, but they are very powerful. They are Class D amplified. So the 2x25 is 2x25 watts. Doesn't sound like a lot, but it will do it in most larger classrooms actually. If you need more power, you can use the preamplifier with a larger PA amplifier. They are both controllable with RS-232 or network commands. The protocol is open, so you can use any controller of your preferred choice. And you've got 5 inputs, 4 analog inputs and 1 digital input. And the first input can actually be mixed upon the others, so you can add a line level microphone to the first input if you need. The preamplifier is a PoE device as well. So let's have a look at some of the cool solutions that we have done, what we can do and what our software is capable of doing. So I mentioned this being able to connect to 8 Neets devices. Have a look at this slide. You can see that I've got my controller over here with my respective RS-232s, my 12-volt relays, and my IOs over here. But on the network, you can see it says 10 devices, and that's the 10 third-party devices I can connect to. But on top of that, you can add Neets devices. You can add maybe an amplifier. And you can see that when you do so, you get the extra ins and outs that is available on that amplifier. So you get 2 extra RS-232s in your system. And this works on all of our network controllers. So even if you take our smallest controller, the Oscar, you can actually expand that with 8 other products from Neets if you wish to do so. And by doing so, you expand even more and you get even more possibilities. So in this case, when you add the Echo Plus, you will get 2 extra LAN ports, so a total of 12. And of course, obviously, if you use the switching relay 4, you get the relays out on the other end, and it has the possibility to also extend on the RS-232 ports. Is there a question, guys? No? Let's move on. We have created a very cool integration with ClickShare, Barco ClickShare. And the thing is, ClickShare doesn't have any control built into it. So if you have a screen or you have a projector and you have a, let's say, an amplifier, they won't turn on. So we'll need some kind of control built on top of that ClickShare solution. But with the integration from Neets, when someone connects the ClickShare button, we will detect it with our control system here. And when that is detected, we will turn on the TV, set the amplifier on the correct input, and maybe lower some curtains, and so on and so on. So all of the automation is done for you just by connecting that USB dongle. And then you press to present, and you go about with your presentation. And when you're done presenting, you simply unplug, and the Neets control system will turn off all of your systems. Very easily and very elegant done. We have the possibility with just one controller to have 10 individual touch panels connected. So each of these touch panels can have their own design, their own operations. so that you can have, let's say, 5 different rooms or maybe 4 rooms and a master panel, depending on how you wish to do this. This is perfect for your divided spaces where you have a folding wall and different scenarios of using those rooms. The latest, I think, cool integration is with Cisco WebEx, where most people, they really like the 10-inch touch panel from Cisco, and they don't want an extra Extron or Crestron or AMX panel on the table to connect and control maybe lights and curtains and AV in general. They want everything on that Cisco panel. And we've done so with the Neets, so that you only need one controller, and then you are able to control everything from that Cisco touch panel. And the cool thing is that the integration is super easy to do. The thing is, with Neets and Project Designer, our configuration software, you don't need to be a skilled programmer. Everything is drag and drop. Everything is easy peasy to do. In terms of lighting, we can control KNX very easily, DALI, DMX, Lutron, and a bunch of other lighting brands out there, so that lighting can be taken care of from the user interface of a touch panel or one of our keypads, if you wish to do so. The KNX is also a completely integrated thing into our software and very easy to work with as well. As mentioned, we have a lot of tools. You mentioned it earlier, but I've just listed a couple of more here. We've got a commercial YouTube channel, and we've got a training academy YouTube channel where you can see a lot of videos on getting started, and you can also find a lot of videos on how the stuff works and gets connected, the unboxing videos, and so on. And there will be lots more coming. I think we have plus 100 videos on our YouTube right now. We also have the website, neets.io. We've got a bunch of case stories if you need some proof of concept for your customers, and a lot of marketing materials. The marketing materials, here you'll need a login for our website, and that is done, as mentioned. Go to neets.io, and in the top of the website, you'll find a Get Access button. Please do so, and then you can also download the software that I will show you in just a minute. So far, guys, are there any questions?
And if there is, remember to unmute.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Perfect. If there is no questions, I will.
S'il y a des questions, les amis, n'hésitez pas soit de les poser. Vous pouvez les poser en français, on s'en chargera de la traduction. Sinon, vous pouvez écrire le texte sur le chat. En français, on s'arrangera de la traduction et de poser la question directement à nos invités.
Hi everyone, I'm Ashraf Ismailian from Morocco. I met you maybe in ESO in 2019, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah. I think it was the first exhibition for Nets in ESO.
No.
No.
Not at all.
For me, it was the first time that I did. Okay. So my question is, how do you control DALI directly by your solution? Do you make a push to them to control it, or with a protocol, or what exactly?
No, with DALI, there's no way of talking directly to those products. You will need some kind of gateway in between. We've got a bunch that I can refer to that we control. They will need to be controlled just as KNX or a TV with a driver that connects to a box, and then that will push out the commands to the DALI network.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome, Asha. Will someone please translate that chat message?
Yes, you're asking if there is an audio amplifier more powerful than 200 watts. The answer is no, but yeah, maybe you can go through the preamp and put in front a power amplifier. But
Yes.
I'll let you do this.
We don't have any big power amps as it is, and I don't think there will be any. We have just discontinued one that we had with 2 by 60 watts. But I think in terms of big power amplifiers, you should go with the bigger brands that you already know for sure.
Okay.
We are just the middleman connecting and controlling. But yeah, guys, let me show the software. I think that will be much pleasant for you guys to see that.
Yes, please do.
So I've just opened up one of the projects. If we go back to the starting image here, you can see that we have all of our control systems ready to be chosen. And you can see we've got the echo, and you can choose a blank project. You can do so with the uniform as well, a blank project. That will just give you an empty slate to start from. And then we have some templates. So to give you an idea on how things work. I have chosen the Tango, and you can see here are different templates. These four templates are the Bolzano. Then we have a template for Cisco. We have an older but still really great looking UI called Arona. And then we have 2 variations of Matterhorn, a bright one and a dark one. But let's start with the one-page control on a 7-inch. And to your likings, you can actually change the language to German, French, Chinese, or English. I would reckon that some of you speak French. I will not go there because I can't speak French at all. I can say oui, oui, and that's about it. So here on our starting image here on my Tango, you can see all of the connections that is within this view. You have the IOs, the 8 IOs, you've got RS-232s, you've got LAN, and you've got the low voltage relays. This view is called System. As you can see down here, we've got 4 tabs: System, Interface, Function, and Feedback. Over here on the left-hand side is all of the devices that we are able to control and which are in our list. You will find 5,145 devices right now, and that list is ever growing. If for some reason your device is not here, you can create them yourselves with another piece of software from us called Neets Device Editor. And then you can create your own custom devices. Up here on top is some of my favorites. I can choose a favorite just by selecting and right-clicking on one of the devices, add to favorites. I can search for a specific device just by typing in some text. But in this case, I'll just take a display, and it's just drag and drop. You can drag and drop it into your workspace, or you can drag it directly onto the port you want it to be connected to. I'll just try and release it out here in the open space. And then you'll see want to use RS-232 or network. So this means that the device drivers has both RS-232 and LAN commands built into it, and infrared if you have that as an option as well. This box here is because we create a lot of device drivers just from the protocols, just from the PDFs. But we also create drivers where we have the actual device in hand, and then you won't see this box. This box here, you'll need to set the timings on the device you are connected to. And you can test those timings with your stop clock in your phone, for example, to make sure that the warm-up period is 10 seconds and the cool down period is 15 seconds in this case. And you can simply just write text, or you can change with the arrows up and down. So now this device pops right onto the first available port. And just to show you, I've added Neets here as a preferred, as a favorite as well. And we can just go and add the soundbar to one of the RS-232s. And you can see underneath is the connection specifications with the serial settings, with the baud rate, data bit, and so on. And why not just for fun and giggles, add a control system? We can add the uniform to the network. And you can see here, instead of setting up the other controller, the uniform in this case, all you need to do is actually just enter the serial number and upload an extension project to that uniform. And then we will know that this is an extension unit on the system. And actually you can see I've got my connections down here on the uniform. So I could actually, if I wished, I could go and extend to my soundbar here. Maybe it's easier to connect that way instead of connecting to the Tango. There's just many ways of expanding the system. In the interface, we have up here on the left-hand side, if I can catch that line, we have all of the pages. So I chose a template. If you didn't choose a template, you will have some empty pages here. I have my keypad, I have a wireless page, I have a cables page, and I have a room control page. Up here on top, I have a page master. So let me just show you how easily it is to brand this UI. On my page master, this is what will be shown on all of the other pages as well. So I can add a logo and I can add a background. Let me start by clearing the background and then choosing a background image. I have a bunch of backgrounds here. We can choose beautiful sky here. And now you can see that on my wireless page and on my cables page, that background will be there as well. Now in this template, I have chosen to hide some of the buttons, and I've done so by adding a piece of image on top of this. I can just delete that by pressing delete, and then I can add the same image as I did on my background in order to remove, and you can see that scales pretty big. So if I changed this image to the resolution that I have on my touch panel, it will most likely look the same. So now this image is on the front and I can send that backwards. So we're actually working in layers here. So now I have one background on my and one view on my page master and a different one on my home page. I can go and delete that logo and again just insert an image. So if you want, you can add a logo. I also have a bunch of logos we can use. And let's just choose the Neets logo here. Resize it a little bit. Up there. And maybe just take the same logo. We can just copy and paste it into my home page, where I'll need a little bit of a bigger logo because it's the front page. I just want it to look a little bit different. Paste. There we go. And you can see there are red lines helping me to align everything here. So now I have a fully customized and fully branded UI for my customer. In this case, Neets. So it's super easy. And in terms of the keypad, well, that's easy as well. We can just go down here below where you can see all of the buttons that we have available for the Bolzano theme. You can choose all, and then you can see a lot of other buttons and groups of buttons and so on. But in this case, I don't want the Bolzano. I want the theme for the uniform. And then I can simply just go and choose buttons and choose some of the predefined layouts and just copy and paste that into my view right here. So creating UIs is super easy. And as you can see, I've only used drag and drop so far, no programming. We don't do programming here at Neets, it's boring. And that's the cool thing actually. If you want to use your programmer to do the really big stuff, go ahead, but you don't have to wait in order to do the smaller boardrooms and so on and equip them with Neets. And you can use your normal installers to do that. Everyone can learn how to program Neets. That's my thesis. So here on my homepage, I have some jump page. You can see the actions over here. Maybe I just need to emphasize I went to my functions page where I can add my sequences from my TV and my soundbar. The jump pages is made already here in this template, so we don't need to do that. But that jump page and the hide show subpage is over here on the left hand side. But let's go to the cables page just to show how easy it is to start the TV on the correct source. So we can just take HDMI 1 and 2 and drag those sequences onto the corresponding buttons. I can take the soundbar as well. We can choose the optical input on both of them. Simply just drag and drop. So what happens now is when someone presses HDMI scene, the ViewSonic will send a power on command, wait 10 seconds, select HDMI 2, and you can see those timings is the same as I chose in that first pop-up box when I added the device. And then after, actually immediately, simultaneously it's called, I will turn on the soundbar, which has a warm-up time of 3 seconds and a waiting period for the optical for 1 second. So that's a total of 4 seconds. And up here, you will have a total of 11 seconds. And for those total of 11 seconds, you will have a timer running on that button showing that it is active. On our keypads, you will have an LED that is blinking to show that there's activity and the system is busy operating your equipment. So maybe on your page master, sorry, on your home page, we would like to add the power off as well. Now I just want to do some examples here. I don't want to do the entire thing, even though it doesn't take long, but you will get the idea from this. And you can see now I'll power off the soundbar and the TV just by pressing that button. So everything is super easy to operate, as you can see. In terms of volumes, we can go and choose the level on the soundbar and just add that to that slider right there. We've got a mute where we can add a mute function, which is found over here. You can see now that the button only has one action, actually no action right now, but I want to add a toggle function, which is the mute right there. And now I have 2 states on the button, and I can then go and choose mute on that button, select mute on, and mute off right there. And then we have the 2 states of the button, mute on and mute off. So hopefully you can see that it is fairly easy to work with the programming configuration on Neets controllers. It has taken no more than, I think, 10 minutes to create this. And well, we're actually almost ready to deploy this. You can also see in the feedback section, we can enable feedback on the ViewSonic, also on the soundbar. So you can have bidirectionality on your displays towards your controller. So if you have a remote control in the room, you can have the feedback being enabled. You can have the soundbar turning on when someone presses the generic remote and turns on the TV, so that you will have synchronized controllers towards the TV in this case. Another small cool thing is actually documentation. You can generate documentation in Word, in PDF, or as images. You can add your own logo, your name and company and so on. Save as PDF. Let me just save it on my desktop here. And then you will see a complete documentation on this install. So you'll get a PDF with, let me just change the view here. I can't do that there. Okay, you'll get it. An overview of the Tango with LAN settings and so on, firmware versions. You will get the installer's view for installation. And then you will have some information on the drivers for the ViewSonic with bow rate and so on. The UI on the keypad. And last but not least, the UI on the touch interface. And the cool thing here is, this is great to give to a customer after you install, but wouldn't it be great to give to a customer prior to an install so they could see and maybe approve what you want to sell to them? It's a very easy way to sell more and to win some cases just by sending out this. You can just generate images and send out the UI, and I would guess that most people that saw this with their own company colors, their own logos and everything would, yeah, you would win that immediately. We know that already.
We do. We do.
So yes, guys, that was the software. And yeah, maybe a little side note. You can then upload this configuration to the Tango controller. That's a matter of, it takes a minute. And you can obviously save it, send it, share it to your colleagues, and they can upload it to other controllers as well. Upload it via USB or network.
So Danish, that is a great tool. Does it have any costs?
No.
No.
The software from Neets is all free. So you simply just need to register on our website and you can download it, try it, play with it. And I'm sure that we can do some demo products as well, send that out to you guys as well, so that you have something to play with.
Yep.
Thank you so much, guys.
Welcome.
Just to show how it, what is it about the product. Juste une petite démonstration à quoi ça ressemble un tango. Ça, c'est la taille physique d'un tango. C'est très petit, vous voyez. Et ça, c'est uniforme pour que vous sachiez à quoi ça ressemble. Ça rentre dans la main. C'est ça, on fait le ink, enfin l'encre électronique, le e-ink. Voilà. Et si vous avez des questions, n'hésitez pas à les poser maintenant. J'ai enregistré le webinaire et la présentation, on va la partager avec vous. I was just saying that I'm recording the webinar, and also we will share with them the PowerPoints, the presentation.
Yes.
And if they need anything, they can ask now or they can ask later. So we are open to any questions from them.
Surely.
Si vous voulez poser des questions par chat, on fera la traduction en anglais, comme ça tout le monde peut profiter. Mais sinon, on est ouvert à faire des one-to-one questions. Aucun souci. Donc, est-ce que vous avez des questions, s'il vous plaît, les amis?
And just to clarify, there are no stupid questions. Everything is allowed. I think I've heard them all. Just kidding. But yeah, as Mohammed mentioned, please ask your questions if you don't want to do it now, or if something pops up later. Don't be shy and reach out to us. I hope you found this interesting, for sure. And I hope to see a lot of signups after this session.
We will see.
Yeah. Let me share a link in the chat. This is where you sign up for the software.
One of our partners, Dennis, is asking if there is a dedicated training for devices, driver devices development. Maybe we can. I don't know if it's possible now. I mean, it doesn't deserve a whole training. C'est très facile, c'est la formation sur les devices. Il y a un outil qui s'appelle Device Editor. Dennis, can you share with us the interface of the Device Editor, please?
Yes, I will. So
c'est très simple à faire. Vous allez voir.
So there are videos on our website where you can learn how to create device drivers. But basically, Neets Device Editor, just to show it really quick, is a piece of software where you press new and you can learn infrared commands through our controllers with infrared learner or with an infrared learner that we have for USB. For RS-232, you can set the baud rate and all of the settings. You can go and enter hex commands here, or you can change into ASCII up here, and you can write. And you can choose special characters up here, character return, for example. So it is super simple. If you have any requests for device drivers, we will obviously gather them here. You can always write support@neets.dk with your request, and we will have a lead time of 3 to 4 weeks for creating device drivers. But obviously, if you are in dire need of a device driver right now, you can create them yourselves very easily. Also here, you'll find the timing. So if you're sitting with your device driver in front of you, you can simply just add that timing right there. You can add sources. So if you want to add an HDMI input, simply just go and write HDMI 1, character return. Of course, depending on your PDF, what that says from your specific manufacturer. And then you can simply just, well, basically go and create everything yourself. Let me just open up a website here. That opened up on my second screen here. Let me go and fetch it. So if you go to neets.io, you can press support. That's a bit slow. And you can search in our knowledge base. We have plus 400 articles. We have a video on getting started with Project Designer. We have a video on getting started with Neets Device Editor as well, and a bunch of other information about, well, anything Neets related. So yes, it is very easy to get started with configuration of Neets products and creating device drivers. I hope that answered your questions, Abdallah.
Il faudrait savoir également qu'il y a plus de 5000 drivers qui sont déjà développés. There is more than 5,000 drivers that are already there. Cool. Et la liste il continue de grandir. Donc, surtout les équipements, les nouveaux équipements, très forte chance que vous allez trouver des drivers. Mais sinon, la liste elle est disponible. Et si jamais vous avez des questions, des problématiques ou bien besoin de développer un driver bien spécifique, n'hésitez pas à nous le faire savoir. Ici, il faut qu'on développe un autre webinaire par rapport à une thématique spécifique par rapport à Neets, on est aussi ouvert. I was just saying that if there is any need of a specific webinar regarding a deep tech discussion regarding Neets, we are open to host that too with you guys.
Surely. Whatever gets the business started.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
D'autres questions, s'il vous plaît? pense que Céus est en train d'écrire une question. Tout à l'heure, j'ai confondu Céus mais Sablila. Désolé, Sablila. S'il vous plaît, n'hésitez pas à partager avec nous vos questions. Si jamais il y a des questions ou des remarques, on est prêt à les prendre et à les répondre. Comme ça, sachant que la présentation elle est enregistrée et on va partager avec vous le PowerPoint par la suite. Alors, je pense qu'il n'y a plus de questions. I think that there is no more questions. I mean, people are not asking, but we're trying to collect questions after this webinar.
Yeah.
And then if there's anything that we can have a discussion afterwards.
Sure.
Je voulais juste partager avec vous les amis ça. Vous pouvez, on a un blog spécifique de solutions audiovisuelles professionnelles. Ça s'appelle blog.ea-group.ma. Vous pouvez faire une recherche, par exemple, si on va sur Neets. Vous allez trouver un peu les articles que nous avons. Et vous allez voir ici, par exemple, Neets, avec son intégration avec Cisco Téléprésence. Les solutions de contrôle, on présente un peu quelques équipements et puis une intégration avec les écrans Philips, etc. Donc, n'hésitez pas à consulter cette page-là, blog.eavs-group.ma. Je vais vous l'envoyer tout à l'heure sur le chat.
Perfect. Looks very
Looks
good.
good.
OK. Donc, merci beaucoup les amis pour votre temps. Thank you so much. There is our friend Abdullah is saying that like a success story. He has already one of our first customers in Morocco for the Neets. He has already you know him, Dennis, of course.
Yes, I do.
Yeah. So we have already worked with him with a big auditorium, and is very happy. Thank you so much, Abdullah, for your for recommendation. Thank you so much. Donc voilà les amis, on a un collègue qui a déjà fait une réalisation avec Neets et on est satisfait. Je viens de partager avec vous le lien pour les articles Neets. I guess that this is an end for our webinar. Thank you so much for coming and spending with us one hour of your time, Dennis and Bo. It was very, very interesting. I think it will be not the last webinar.
We will be happy to do as many as you like.
Okay.
Definitely.
Thank you so much.
Let us
Merci
know.
beaucoup les amis et passez une excellente journée. À très bientôt. Merci beaucoup.
Merci beaucoup.
Merci.
Au revoir.
Au revoir. Thank
Au
you.
revoir.
Thank you.